Just across the street from Progress, the building, there's a car that's smashed up against the building. He smashed the sign and hit the building. The car's crashed.
It was 6:15 a.m. on July 31st, 2022, in Strongsville, Ohio, when a dispatcher fielded the peculiar 911 call. The man had come across a troubling sight. At first glance, it seemed the driver of the Toyota Camry must have lost control of the vehicle and inadvertently crashed into a local business. Frantic rescue efforts and an investigation into the cause of the accident were immediately underway, and the truth wouldn't remain hidden for long. Crucial details would make their way to investigators, and it was clear a fuse had been burning for quite some time, and the resulting catastrophic explosion had been inevitable. Upon receipt of the perplexing report of a single-car crash, the first officers are dispatched to the scene to assess the situation.
Radio, car split in two. Radio, there's an occupant inside. Send us a squad now.
By now, it's clear that the situation is dire, and many more first responders are desperately needed at the scene. With that, the additional officers en route pick up the pace as those on the scene desperately try to tend to the occupant.
We gotta bust the window out. Send us some more units.
Any more units to Progress in Alameda?
Now!
What are we doing?
This is not a fresh accident either. She's been here for a while. Radio, we got at least 2 occupants in here. No one's moving. Oh my God. Oh my God. Times 3, guys. Radio, 3 occupants. No one's conscious. No one's breathing. Bust that window out. Oh my God, dude. Who can hear my voice? Who's in here? Driver's radio. The driver is breathing, unconscious.
I copy.
Radio, they're gonna need full extraction on all 3. Come here. Call him the plate. Let him call it in.
The officers have noted that there are 3 occupants inside, but it's unknown yet if there are any survivors.
This is bad, guys. She's alive. We got to get her out somehow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Heaven.
48-year-old female.
It's. I ain't gonna budge. It's on the frame. Keep cutting. You doing good? Oh my God. Sarge, we're good to try to get her out? Oh, dude, I don't know if we can. Oh my God.
Start looking for a wall.
Breathing? She's breathing. She's breathing. Her head's wedged. Let's see if we can get some IDs, guys.
I don't feel anything. I don't feel
She's breathing. I saw her stomach. Her stomach's moving. Look.
Yeah.
We got 2 that are gone.
Yeah.
Soon, dispatch is able to provide a bit of information in response to details officers have provided.
I have a 17-year-old female, Mackenzie.
Went through the sign.
Okay, that might be the driver.
She talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. 5-7 radio. She's talking a little bit. Advise fire to step it up. Did you try the pockets of them?
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And he's
I know.
head.
Jesus Christ. This is the worst I've ever seen.
Just moments later, but what seems like an eternity, fire rescue members finally start to approach.
They're confirmed DOA. We might have to move some cruisers. Leave yours there. Yeah, they're gonna line this whole goddamn street. Driver, 17-year-old female, still breathing, wedged in there. 2 are gonna be DOA. Okay. They're all young, possibly teenagers.
still breathing?
Yeah. She's been here for hours. Life flight has to come. We'll have to set up a perimeter for it, okay?
As members of the fire department begin efforts to extricate the female driver, who has been identified as 17-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla, officers agree that this is the worst crash they've ever encountered, and the jaws of life must be utilized.
I hope they're all not brothers. Are you taking pictures?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Also, get starting the track over there. You can see where it hits the grass.
Okay.
Thanks. Helicopter's coming.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Jesus Christ, dude. I've never seen one this big. This is like 120 plus, dude. 100 plus. I just can't believe she's been here this long. And to be honest with you, when you're coming there, you can barely see it from the sign.
Oh, yeah.
You can't barely see it.
Right.
What's that? This is Davian Flanagan, I'm assuming. This is him. Put his ID on top of him.
Tragically, 19-year-old Davion Flanagan is deceased. Efforts are focused on 17-year-old Mackenzie, the driver of the demolished vehicle.
The female's talking.
Life flight ETA on the first helicopter, 5 to 10 minutes.
He feels cold. You have any idea how long they've been here?
At least 4 hours.
Is the motor warm or
Not at all.
Life flight ETA for the first helicopter is 5 to 10 minutes.
Copy. We have a zone set up. She's talking.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hey, so it's not warm at all. I'd say probably like at least 2-3 hours. Oh, they're pulling her out.
7115.
What's your name, dear? Mackenzie. Okay. All right. 5-7 radio.
Go ahead.
You have Mackenzie's information, correct?
That's affirmative.
That's our driver.
By now, the first responders have identified the driver and the rear passenger, but the identity of the front passenger remains a mystery. Miraculously, Mackenzie manages to provide some crucial info and states that one of the victims is Dom.
She going on the flight?
No, she's going up.
All right, confirm with the captain. We got a bird in route. Life flight's here. I think she's here for her. Before you guys take off, that bird's for her, just so you guys know.
Yeah,
okay.
know.
All right.
What's bothering you right now?
Don't say anything.
What's hurting you? Which one? Right leg? All right, I'm going to see how much longer on that driver being extricated. Okay? No BP stuff. I'm going to give you I think we're going to close up and expose her.
Okay, fair enough. Captain, quick word. Maria's not taking that female. That bird's for her, correct?
Yeah, the bird's
Okay.
for her getting towards you.
You wanted me to ask you.
We're at the point now where we can pull him out or leave him.
Okay.
The
There's be a way to leave.
just leave him in the.
Where are we at with the female?
Female's in the back of Maria right now. She's ready. She's alert Maria. So leave the body where it's
Yeah, we'll have ME come. What's up?
Coroner's office. We're gonna leave the body in there.
Okay, what about the second one?
Second one's in the squad, but they're DOA too.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we're gonna leave the body here. They asked me to take it or leave it. I said leave it, and then call
We don't even know who that is yet, do we?
We have no idea.
Can I go talk to the female and get her info, or you want to go try talking to her?
Yeah, I'll go try.
Go get a first and last name for this guy.
Is she that responsive or?
Yes. Before the bird leaves, I need a name for him. I'm gonna call the coroner myself. Hey, it's Galassi from Strongsville, badge 7157. I got 2 vehicular crash in Strongsville. We're leaving one body in the car. I got life flight landed now. I need it for 2 bodies. The life flight's for the only living passenger.
The officer relays the identity of one of the deceased young men to the coroner. The other is still unidentified.
Davion Flanagan. Looks like a black male. This is going to be just a nightmare of a day for this whole department. Yes, he's out of the car. And he's in the back of Medic 1. we're ready for ME to come, right, to remove the body, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, we're ready. Any ID or anything? Okay. Is he a white male or a white male? Okay. How old do you guys think? 20, 19, 17? All right.
He was 17.
Yeah. Is there any in the vehicle?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What type of? And
Molotov cocktails.
this is going to be for 2. All right. Call me if you need me.
He's a Brownsville football player. He's a running back.
What's his? Oh my God, he was close.
So it was.
The magnitude of the situation is clearly beginning to take its toll on the officers, and they're aware that the news about the former high school football star is going to send shockwaves through the community. We learn more about Davion in an interview with his parents that took place just days after the crash.
Davion had a big heart, sometimes to his own detriment, but he was faithful and loyal, was very easy to make friends.
He was always there for people.
Right.
Like, if you needed him, he was there. If it was family, if it was friends, just that's his
emotionally,
heart.
Physically, he was there for you.
Yes. Just a really big heart.
Davion had big dreams too, and he was just getting started. We return to the scene, where officers are desperate to identify the second deceased victim.
Rest in peace, buddy. Take a minute, dude.
I mean, a human being like this. Like I told
Just take a minute. It was like a nightmare. I ran up. I go, this is bad. I ran up. I saw 1. Called in 1. I look in the back. There's 2. You call in 2, and then you see 3. You're like, Jesus, no one's. What a nightmare.
As the team of officers and other first responders piece the information together, they are finally able to identify the front seat passenger.
Backseat guy's definitely Davion. Front seat guy's not a Jacob. He's Dominic.
Oh, I'm just confirming it's Dominic.
Confirmed? Yeah, so go to dispatch and look at the BMD and see if it's
Okay.
With this information, all 3 parties have been identified. 20-year-old Dominic Russo, known to family and friends as Dom, is the front seat passenger. He's also the longtime boyfriend of 17-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla, who also goes by Kenzie. Right now, she's barely clinging to life, en route via life flight to the hospital. The officer takes photos of the tire marks and approaches firefighters and officers who are still stationed at the site of the wreckage. They've located some crucial items that must be documented. He also gives other responders direction as they try to ensure all necessary actions are taken.
Because you're doing the investigation, so I would like you to go there and see if you can talk to her.
Yes.
And see if you can get blood from her, even if it's after the 3-hour period.
Yeah, I need a cheat sheet on that, and she's a juvenile.
Which means she probably has Instagram, so he might be in a picture with one of
Did she take a bunch of pictures, Smeed?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I get the license plate. Where's the?
It's in the pocket.
Take them out. Put your gloves on. Take them out. Lots of cash. I think they all had a ton of cash.
Maria said that the driver had
And a scale.
You can open up that phone with that area, and we can leave the rest of the road open up.
Forget it. Throw them back in there. Just leave them. Just honestly, this is a property issue. I'll just get a quick picture of I'm done. I'm done.
After the scene of devastation has been processed, it's time to attempt to piece everything together and try to determine what could have possibly led to 2 beloved young people's deaths and a 3rd in critical condition. As word of the fatal crash quickly begins to circulate among a close-knit group of friends who also happen to be tech-savvy, law enforcement starts to receive information from a few of these friends who voluntarily come forward. On August 2nd, just 2 days after the terrible incident, 2 friends of Dominic and Davion traveled to the police station to provide statements. They're Husni Ahmad and Tyler Croy. Husni had held a vigil for the friends just one day before this visit. We pick up where Husni and Tyler offer some very compelling information and, needless to say, it sends the investigation in a whole new direction.
And it shows you that they literally hit the gas right when they got into that area. They were driving fine for like 15 minutes.
Right.
How all of a sudden you drive good for 15 minutes, you drive bad for like 2 minutes,
right,
and you're 5 minutes away from the house.
Right.
And he was staying at Dominic's house.
Right.
His parents were on vacation, and so it just like that's what we're stuck around right now.
Right. You're trying to wrap your head around some understanding of why this thing happened.
You can see where the tire tracks were before they even entered like the area where they crashed. And Life 360 shows that exactly. So, like, how accurate is this app?
Yeah, the app is extremely. I was actually just talking to one of the other guys, and like, man, when my kid's old enough to drive, I'm gonna be putting that on my phone. Yeah,
like when I have
that's a
kids,
phenomenal
always,
app.
Like 100%.
Husni explains that Davion had an app called Life 360 on his phone, and friends who were connected to him were able to track him leading up to and at the time of the fateful crash. Considering what he knows of his friend Davion, he just can't wrap his brain around what has happened. But, like others, he has some suspicions.
Once the blood test comes back, though, that's what's going to tell us.
Right. Like I said, the detectives are working on all that. Like I said, I wish I had more information. I'm right now just collecting it for them so they can help work through their case and their investigation.
That same day, a relative of Dominic visits the station in hopes of retrieving some items that might have been left in the vehicle. And the tracking information from the Life 360 has also made its way to him. Like Husni, he's troubled by the findings.
This is crazy.
Correct.
On that 360, whatever the app was, whatever.
That's what multiple people have called us about.
It said 90 miles an hour.
That information.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
So what the what was the hurry?
In an interview that would come later with a friend of one of the victims, Detective Hazoo would reveal just how critically the information had affected the trajectory of the investigation.
That's really what's causing us to look at this from a couple of different angles, to be honest with you, because one of the Strongsville High School kids, I'm sure you know, sent us a screenshot saying, well, look at the Life 360, look at the speed. To be honest with you, if we didn't get that, we probably wouldn't have looked even closer at the crash.
Investigators were determined to uncover what had happened during the final moments before the tragic crash. According to preliminary information based on the app, the vehicle was traveling at a staggering speed of 90 miles per hour at the time of the impact. In addition to those who came forward right away, detectives sought accounts from those closest to the victims. Mackenzie had narrowly escaped with her life, and, as one would probably expect, rumors were spreading like wildfire. Of course, investigators were well aware that they had to take such speculation with a grain of salt. Lead Detective Zaki Hazoo received a desperate call from Mackenzie's mother just 1 week after the crash, on August 6th, 2022.
Strongsville Police Detective Hazoo.
Hey, it's Mackenzie Shirilla. How are you? Hey.
Good, how are you?
Can you help us? She's not on social media, but there are one person in particular who's personally reaching out to her saying terrible, horrible things. It's basically harassment. Is there anything you can do to help us stop her?
Well, I can't do anything about that, to be honest with you. The only thing I can tell you is she needs to stay off her phone.
She's talking to her friends and messages.
I understand.
But sometimes people make a visit to their house saying, stop, knock it off, we know what you're doing, and it's cyberbullying.
Well, at this point, the only thing I can tell you is the best thing she can do is stay off social media. People are talking. People have not stopped. People are not going to stop. At this point, you have a lot of people talking, and unless they say we're going to come you or something of that sort, there's very little in terms of what can be done. We will put another Facebook, if you want, like a public on the Strongsville Police page saying to knock it off with the...
No, don't do that, because that'll just draw more attention.
Okay. I'm here today on my day off working on the case because there's just so much. We're getting so much from people calls and they're sharing things with us, and we have to vet through everything.
I see.
So the only thing I can tell you is I know she made her social media private, which is very smart. Yep. She needs to stay off social media, period.
Right.
Take this as a piece of advice, I'm telling you.
The detective then took the opportunity to shift the conversation to Kenzie and her condition.
How is Mackenzie feeling these days? Is she better?
Oh my God, excruciating pain. She just had her surgery on her arm, and it's terrible.
Did they tell you how many broken bones she has?
She broke her C1
vertebrae. Oh, wow.
Her humerus right by the elbow, 8, 9, and 10 ribs.
Wow.
Her femur, and she lacerated her kidney and her liver and her left knee down to the joint.
Wow.
I know.
Well, I hope she could just focus on healing and getting better.
Despite Kenzie's serious injuries, she had survived. Maybe the contempt toward her was just a misguided effort to assign blame somewhere. After all, Dominic and Davion were well liked. Of course, just days after the crash, something happened that really rubbed people the wrong way. The detective revealed what he'd learned in an interview with a friend of the three by the name of Paul Burlinghouse. His home happened to be the last place the crew had spent time together before the wreck.
If you're on social media, did you see Kenzie talking with this modeling company after the crash, after we gave her phone back?
I saw people talking about that.
Yeah, what did you see?
Just people really enraged.
Enraged about what?
That she was talking to the modeling company.
Yeah, did you see how happy her mom was that the modeling company is trying to help her plan her future? She just her boyfriend and another kid with a very bright future. She 2 people. And the reaction is, I'm worried about my modeling career. And if I my friends or if I'm responsible for the of somebody, it's devastating. But the reaction that you saw and that we saw is something that is intriguing.
Dominic's mom and brother had heard the news too, and they definitely weren't pleased. You're about to hear from Angelo, Dom's older brother, who has also been like an older brother to Kenzie. In addition to the shocking news of Dom's untimely death, Mackenzie's behavior has struck him like a punch in the gut.
The first thing I seen from her, she didn't text my mom, she didn't text me, she didn't text my dad, she didn't text anybody in my family. The first thing I seen from her contacting anybody was she texted a modeling agency that reached out to her and said something. But that was before even, like, you're going to go and reach out to a modeling agency on Instagram, let them want to use your picture before texting.
Several people in Minnesota. That.
Many people in between that should have gotten that text beforehand. You know what I mean?
During an interview with Dominic's mom, the same topic was covered, and Detective Hazoo revealed something quite intriguing.
As you might already know, I wanted to give her a rope and let that go on the record. I wanted to give her the phone back, see what she's going to do with it. And she did. I mean, she was making modeling, talking to this modeling company from the hospital about her future plans with no regard to the fact that she took 2 innocent lives. It was a strategic decision that I made. Her mom called over 10, 15 times here wanting the phone back.
The detective interviewed Davion's adoptive parents on August 9th, and by that time, the crushing reality that Davion was gone forever had started to sink in. It was easy to understand why people were drawn to Davion, and why friends were so shattered by the loss of someone they deeply cared for.
He was very passionate about football. That was it was his dream when he came to us at 8.5 from foster care. He had never had the opportunity to be involved in organized sports. As a mother, I was like, oh, does it have to be football? Can it be something else? But it was what he loved. And, he
eventually became the starting running back for Strongsville in his senior year.
He was just such a kind and loving soul. I would always say he had an old soul because he was just like wise beyond his years in a way, a lot of ways, because he's had to experience so much in his short life. He was a protective and loving brother.
He was very athletic.
Hardworking. Very hardworking.
Very hard worker. He was also
funny and
he had a great sense of humor.
Charming and handsome. He wanted to go on to be a barber. That was his dream.
He was a team barber for the football team and the coaches, so he had his own equipment. He would always have them over, but much to our detriment because there was hair always all over the place.
We just left the funeral home this morning, and one of the things they said is he will not need a barber or beautician. His hair looks great.
Did a good job with it before he passed. He wanted to own his own shop someday.
Yeah.
So it really was like a lifelong passion for him.
As the evidence was piling up, the detective's suspicions were too, and he spoke candidly about his impressions in an interview with Dominic's mom, Christine Russo.
I just assumed it was an OBI accident in the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
And this is, to us, this is what Jason and I are struggling with. And I wish I could give you a better answer, but until we look at her blood, it just doesn't look like an OVI crash to me. And so I'm not trying to create a theory from nothing, but the reason I'm asking about the mental health is because OVI by itself doesn't fit.
Right. Well, it doesn't.
He wasn't wearing a seatbelt, but put your mind at ease in that Dom was, at no point did he reach over based on what our officers saw when they got there. So even if somebody tries to say, you know, Dom caused it, no way.
As the detective stated, conversations had been recorded by Dom, and they documented what seemed to be a very toxic relationship. 2 particular phone calls between the pair proved very crucial in the investigation.
You lied and said you would never lock me out of the house again. That is why we got back together last time we broke up. Because you were a little weak.
You broke up with me earlier. You literally broke up with me earlier.
This is your last chance to open the door, or you are not coming out of this house all night, because I will not leave.
You literally broke up with me earlier. Like, I'm gonna break
I will
the
key your
doors,
car
like,
if you do not let me in the house.
you're gonna key my car if I don't let
If you don't let me in the house, yes. So just let me in the house.
No, like why can't you just be like calm at least for a second and I can feel comfortable
I am
letting you
calm.
in the house.
I am
like,
calm. I don't think you get to decide that with your weird
You literally threatening to
trauma
keep. You
problems.
literally threatening to key my car and what else you threatening?
Dom, I'm gonna give you one last chance to open the door. I'm gonna leave and do what I said I was gonna do.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna give you one last chance. Open.
Kenzie, look. Let me go to dinner.
No.
You can let me go
you're
to
not
dinner,
going
then
to
I can let you come over later.
No, you're not, because I'm coming to dinner too.
You should have told me you wanted to come.
She already put me on the reservation, so open the door, you
No, I'm not letting you in the house.
We need to talk first now, because you just like betrayed me.
Alright, we can talk outside.
Dom, if you do not open, you think I'm joking. Like I'm.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You know it. That's exactly what I mean. You don't even know exactly what I mean. You're gonna come open this door right now, or there's gonna be a serious problem.
I can't. No, like you can't keep threatening. You can't keep making all these threats. Like I can't
And
open
you
the
can't
door.
keep kicking me out of a place that you say is my home.
Kenzie, I didn't kick you out. You took off and dipped and said we were done.
Dom, okay, ready? I'm gonna count to 10. The door's gonna open, okay? You're gonna open the door and stop hiding behind the door like a little. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Kenzie, I can't open the door.
4. Okay, I'm gonna break something, man. Dom, I'm gonna give you, if this phone call hits 5 minutes, we're breaking up.
Kenzie, I can't do this right now. You can't sit here and fight like.
Okay, well, you're not going to dinner.
Okay, well, step away from the door. Maybe I can come outside and talk for a second.
No, we're not fighting outside. You're gonna open the door right now.
Why aren't we fighting
You have
outside?
1 minute now, actually.
Look, Lily, now my mom's trying to call me. Like I got.
No, if you hang up on me, we're done. I'm leaving.
Kenzie, there's nothing I could do. Like I can't. I'm not.
There
like,
is. Stop being a little.
I can't let you in my house with how you're acting. Like it's as simple as that. Like there's no way. Like
I'm just gonna break the handle off. It's already moving.
Like you're really gonna break into my house?
Yes, I will. I will break into my house. You're right. I will break into it.
It's not your house. It's my
It
house.
is. Dom, now open the door. Now open the door. You have 30 seconds left on the phone call to open the door. We're done.
Kenzie, I really don't think I can.
If
I don't
you
think.
can't open the door, then you can't be in a relationship with me.
Kenzie, I can't
If
let
this
you in the
phone
house.
call hits 10 minutes and I'm not in the house, then we're done.
No, Kenzie. No, Kenzie. I'm calling my mom. Goodbye.
No, you're not.
In addition to the recorded calls, text messages magnified the tumultuous nature of the relationship. One message was especially chilling. Dom sent Mackenzie the following just 2 weeks before the crash. "You threatened to end my life all the time. Details that seemed to incriminate Mackenzie were accumulating at a rapid pace. It was no mystery that Mackenzie had enemies. Even so, one has to wonder why so many would allegedly harbor such a strong dislike toward Mackenzie. Tyler Proctor elaborated further on the topic when he spoke to investigators. As it turns out, Tyler had dated Mackenzie on and off during breakups between her and Dom.
She's all over the place with everything, and then she's just in general kind of a shady person. She's like a snake. She'll go talk about me to someone else, and then she'll go talk about to that person to me. You know what I'm saying? But she would do it with everyone.
When you were with her and hung out with her, did you ever know her to make fun of people, be mean to people?
Everyone can say that. Everyone can vouch for that. Like, she is a bully.
Tyler also told of an alleged occurrence he witnessed between Mackenzie and Dom.
We were in this candy shop, and this was after they had gotten over arguing and everything like that. She was like, either buy me something or shut the up. No one's trying to listen to you. She just basically like used them to force money almost. And on her TikTok and stuff, Dom would always buy her designer, and she would always post on her TikTok as if she bought the designer. And she would be like calling out other people, trying to call them broke with her stuff and stuff like that. I don't know, she's just kind of like an all over.
Did she have money?
She didn't have no job. I mean, she worked with my stepsister at Dunkin' Donuts for a little bit. That's all I know.
It was an interesting question. Did Mackenzie have a job? By this time, the detective already knew the answer. He'd gotten his hands on some additional information, and it suggested that Mackenzie was likely participating in a variety of illegal activities. Mackenzie's driving had been called into question multiple times during the course of the investigation, and there was no question about it. She was a terrible driver, and she documented various occasions where she was distracted and engaged in fits of road rage.
What the f***, letting this off the bus, like, this like 2 seconds away from me, like, what the f***? This is how park at Polaris. Look at this he's literally on the line.
Paul Burlinghouse, the friend who'd held the gathering the night before the crash, spoke on the matter during his interview.
Have you ever been a passenger in Mackenzie's car while she was driving?
I've refused a ride from Kenzie because
Why would
she's
you
a
do
bad
that?
driver. She's
Explain
a terrible
that
driver.
to me, please. What do you mean by bad driver?
I always knew she would get in fights. She got in her fight with her neighbor about zooming past the stop sign. One time at the carnival, she was gonna drive me home, but I just said, no, I'm good.
Do you know anybody who's ever been a passenger with her who's like, oh my gosh, you know? Paul, can you believe I just hitched a ride?
Yes, I have, yeah.
I saw death right in front of me.
Yeah, was like, don't go in the car with Kenzie. Like, she's not a good driver.
One extremely significant incident occurred precisely 2 weeks before the crash, on July 17th, 2022. Detective Jesus spoke with a friend of Dom and his family known as Hench on November 1st, 2022. Dom's mother had performed legal services for Hench a few years earlier, and the bunch had been friends ever since. Hench gave the detective a chilling account, effectively foreshadowing that the tragedy had been looming.
He was upset, and she was like, well, where are you at? He was like, I'm driving in a car with her, and he was like, I just want to go. He was like, I don't want to be around her anymore, I'm done. She was like, well, do you mind going to go pick him up? I said, not a problem. I leave her house, get on the highway, and I call him. I said, well, where are you at? And she was like, I'll crash this car. I'm like, dude, what you mean? I'm like, Dominic, just tell her to pull over. Like, I'm right behind you guys, so just pull over. I'm right here, like, be there in 2 seconds. Once you get in the car with me, I said, dude, you don't have to deal with this. You're young, you don't have to deal with no chick in her attitudes, whatever. If you're not happy, just let her go. You know what I mean? If it was true love, she'll be back. So we're sitting there having that conversation in the car on the way back home. And he was like, man, I just can't deal with, she don't want to listen. She drives like a maniac. I was like, well, you don't have to drive with her. You have your own car. Let her go about her way. Take your time away from her. Get yourself together. He was like, yeah, I think that's going to be the best thing to do.
When you were on the phone with him, can you clarify again what you heard her say over the phone?
She said she'll crash this car right now.
You heard her say that? Okay.
I was starting to get out the car because I seen her just going over, grabbing him and swinging at him.
So she's swinging at him, reaching over? Okay.
And he was upset.
Upset?
Yeah, because they broke up at that point. Okay. But then they ended up back together 2 days later.
Okay. Did he feel like she tried to him that day? Like she intentionally was trying to drive the car into a wall? Or was that just a threat? Or
I think it was just a threat. I don't think he took it real serious, because if that was the case, he would have never got back in the car with her. Man, I would have never expected that would even happen. A week later, just mind-blowing.
Just 14 days later, the unthinkable happened. And it's quite possible that the truth could have remained hidden if not for a tight-knit group of loyal friends and an app called Life 360. As detectives compiled a comprehensive inventory of information, reports, and interviews to present to prosecutors, Mackenzie continued to live her life, a luxury neither Davion nor Dom had been afforded. Friends and family of the victims were appalled to learn that Mackenzie was attending concerts and even partying on the campus of Ohio University. When Davion's mother, Jamie Flanagan, became privy to the TikTok post that documented Mackenzie's partying, she wrote an email to Detective Hazoo. An excerpt clearly exhibited the anguish felt by Davion's loved ones. Our family was so upset to see these. While we are deeply mourning Davion's death and trying to figure out how to endure our first real holiday without him, Kenzie is out enjoying life and most likely getting ready to go out for a college Halloween party. Just days after the photos were posted to social media, Mackenzie's escapades came to an abrupt halt. She was arrested on November 4th, 2022.
Where's she?
Right back there, pal.
Hi, Mackenzie. Step out for me. I'm Detective Hazoo. I'm the one who's been investigating the crash. You're under arrest for aggravated murder ×2, okay? Nobody's gonna ask you any questions. Nobody's gonna bother you. Can I have your key, please?
Could you please be careful taking this one off so it doesn't break the bracelet, please?
You got it. You got it.
Do you want my glasses?
No.
Thank you.
You got it.
True to form, Mackenzie is only thinking about herself and her bracelets.
Okay, just keep your hands right here. I'm not going to tighten these, okay? I don't want to hurt you. You good? Are they good? That's your head going in.
Soon, Mackenzie arrives at her first stop.
It's just like...
Stand right by that black mat. Straight forward. Yep, until that door. Step on that yellow line. Copy.
What's your first name? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Okay, Mackenzie, I'm gonna take your handcuffs off. I need like all the jewelry and everything to come off, okay?
I can't wear any of it.
No, I need you to take it off while you're in the jail right now.
I can't wear these.
Now, unfortunately, everything's gonna have to come off right now once we know when the detective comes back and we know for sure what's going on. Everything's gonna be bagged up here. It's not going anywhere.
It seems Mackenzie's parents hadn't anticipated the arrest.
Be able to be here, and you guys have your phone.
It's not hers, it's mine.
And it's in the car, as I got it on Find Phone. It's in your lot. So, but I need to speak to my daughter because you guys aren't allowed to speak to her at all. That's from the lawyer. He does not want you guys speaking to her. And I can get him on the phone. He can tell you that over the phone if that works, or I can go in and tell her not to open her mouth. But how you guys did this on the weekend is just what you all have to do is go, hey, there's a warrant for her. We would have brought her right down here with no problem, but you hit it. It's just unbelievable. I mean, she's 18.
So the warrant was issued today, so we executed it today. The warrant wasn't issued earlier.
Well, you could have made a phone call, couldn't you? You had your creeper out in front of my yard watching.
She's an adult. She can't take any phone calls right now. She'll be transferred downtown. And I don't know about the phone. I would have to ask about that.
Can you go find, it's mine, it's not hers, I do need it, I have other children.
And that's how we communicate.
Yeah, and that's how we communicate.
Okay, so
I do need my phone.
I mean, if you had to roll out the whole mess to pick up an 18-year-old girl who can hardly walk out of a hospital visit, it's just beyond me.
So we follow the law, and that's what we're doing today. So the phone that was in her hand is the one that we took, but I'd have to check with the detective to find out what's going on with that. I don't know the answer to that.
Can we find out? I do need it like right now.
Okay, let me at least
I have
ask.
another child.
Yeah. No, I get it, So we got a lot to
Can you, so yeah. Thank you.
Then am I going to be allowed to have a 2-minute conversation with her?
You cannot talk to her while she's here, no.
Why doesn't she get a
Well,
phone
she has
call?
legal
If you arrested her, why
representative.
don't she get a phone call?
She was just brought in. They're going to process her. As soon as they get the time for her to make a phone call, she will be able to make a phone call.
You just need to advise her, she has a lawyer.
She's a lawyer. She does have a lawyer.
She is 18 years old and she could speak that.
Yeah, but she's a dumb 18-year-old that just turned 18.
Well,
and you guys are all the kids nowadays are dumb, and these guys are going to take advantage of her. She's not allowed to speak to you guys. I'm telling you that.
Her
from
attorney
lawyer.
can call us.
Don't ask her any questions. She's not allowed to speak to you.
It was in August of 2023, 9 months after her arrest, that 19-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla stood trial. Perhaps some of the most compelling evidence was the account provided by Hench. In addition, the Camry's black box told a gut-wrenching story. A grand jury had been presented some disturbing findings. At the time of impact, the vehicle was traveling with the accelerator pedal fully engaged. At no point was the service brake applied. In addition, it was discovered that the pedal was depressed to 100% for a minimum of 5.85 seconds prior to impact with the wall. The vehicle was demolished, and the building repairs were estimated at well over $200,000. And the medical records and toxicology report indicated that Mackenzie was neither impaired nor did she have any medical conditions that could have possibly contributed to the crash. On August 14th, 2023, Mackenzie was found guilty of 4 counts of murder, 4 counts of felonious assault, 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide, 1 count of possession, and 1 count of possessing criminal tools. Approximately 1 week later, Mackenzie was sentenced to 2 concurrent life sentences with a possibility of parole after 15 years.